Welcome back. Let's now talk about a lot of the individual stocks. And before we do that, let's take stock of the Asian market update as well. Like we've been saying, it's a pretty mixed picture. The market that's reacting negatively to obvious comments from the US president is Japan. It's down about 1%. Hang Seng's still okay. So mixed across Asia. Let's get the implied open up to get a sense of where we could be. We've been stalling around this 25,500 mark for the last 2-3 sessions. Will today be any different? We'll find out. 40 points up as far as the implied open is concerned. Well, lots of stocks to track as well. So let's straight away get to our team with the CNBC-TV18 list of top stocks to watch. First up, more auto sales numbers trickled in after market hours. There was Maruti, there was Hyundai, and I think Hero as well. Yeah. How do they look, Rima?
So let's start with Hero MotoCorp. Better than what the street was anticipating on account of rural growth, the pickup. So overall sales in the month of June up 10%. Higher than expectations of 6%. So Hero MotoCorp was a beat. But on the flip side, Maruti Suzuki was a miss. Again, it's the same issue. The domestic sales are weak because of challenges at the entry-level segment. Exports are doing fine. But on the whole, entry-level segment sales are down 18%. UV sales are down 9%. And as a result of that, the domestic sales are down 12%, while exports are chugging along well, 22% up. Hyundai was largely in line with expectation. The total sales was down about 6%. Expectations were for an 8% fall. Exports are doing well, but again here, the domestic sales have been weak. So 12% lower for the domestic sale. Exports have done well. So to just recap, Hero MotoCorp positive, Maruti was a miss, Hyundai was weak, but in line with expectations.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Rima. Well, let's hop across to Mangalam. Mangalam, tell us more. Yesterday I heard a nice tune that you went with Mr. Jindal. And paints are in focus yet again. Asian Paints today, not too great news. V-Mart retailer as well, a little bit of a miss.
Well, you know, Mr. Jindal actually sang the Dulux tune, but more on that later. No. Now we talk about Asian Paints. What actually has happened is, remember that, you know, Birlas had approached the Competition Commission alleging, use or abuse of dominant position by Asian Paints in the market. To that, the Competition Commission has released its first report, and they've ordered an investigation against Asian Paints for the abuse of its dominant position, and this probe will complete in 90 days. So post 90 days, we will have an order that will come by from the Competition Commission, where Aditya Birla Group had written to the CCI in November 2024 saying that Asian Paints is disturbing the dealers which are dealing with Grasim products. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Until there is clarity on this one, expect some subdued movement on Asian Paints on the back of that. V-Mart Retail, on the other hand, it is their first quarter update that has come in. The sales, not a problem, nearly 13% higher at 885 crores. The problem was the same store sales growth, which has come in at just 1%. On its part, the company has said that, because Eid was in the previous quarter this year and the base quarter had Eid last year, if you adjust for that, the actual same store sales growth is up 5%. But be that as it may, the street will not like just 1% sort of same store sales growth, because a large part of the festive season growth was also accounted for in the previous quarter already. They opened 15 stores, pretty much in line. So see mild red for both V-Mart and Asian Paints.
All right, Mangalam, thanks a lot for that. Well, let me run you through all the metal stocks that I'm looking at. NMDC, yesterday there was negative news flow because the price cut that came about effective July 1st was larger than expected, of around 500 to 600 rupees. The street would have liked a number of from 200 to 300 rupees per ton. Now, going with a little bit of red out here, though yesterday the stock ended virtually at the low point of the day because production has gone up, but sales have come down. Now, this makes the next few quarters quite challenging as well. So we'll have to see how that goes. So, that's going to be one that we're going to be looking at, because for June, the sales have come down by close to 4%. Could have been impacted by the onset of the monsoon sooner than expected. So going with red out there. Lloyds Metal, the iron ore production actually is flat at around 4 million tons, while DRI production is up close to around 3%. More or less in line, no big surprise out here, but going with green out there, because since they've done 4 million tons of production just in the first quarter, and now they've got the EC clearance, which they can do close to 25 million tons in the year. For the next few quarters, you could have a bit of a softish monsoon quarter as well, but post that, they'll be ramping up, 6 million tons on a quarterly run rate. So that's why going with green on Lloyds Metal, though it could be a flattish reaction. And MOIL, it by the international trends with regard to manganese ore prices, and they've affected a marginal price increases on a couple of grades out there by around 2%. So that's why going with a tinge of green on MOIL as well. But going to Winnie, she is here because she's tracking JSW Energy and Dream folks. Morning, Vinny.
Good morning, Nigel. So JSW Energy, positive news flow after the company has signed a battery energy storage purchase agreement in Rajasthan with RVUNL. And now this agreement is to establish 250 megawatt of standalone battery energy storage systems. So positive coming in here and green is what we're expecting. Now Dream folks, on the flip side, red is what we could see coming in for the stock, a sharper fall, given that the company has now said that certain programs or certain agreements with Axis Bank and ICICI Bank have been closed with effect from 1st of July 2025. They said that the overall contracts are still on with these two banks, but there are certain important programs which have been shut down, and this could have some bit of a material impact. The exact impact is what they are still calculating in terms of on the financials, but some impact is what is expected. Do not forget, on June 20th, the management actually spoke to CNBC-TV18, and they said that all their contracts were in place as of June 20th, and renewal and negotiations were a part of it, and they were sticking to their growth guidance as well. So now it will be important to see how their guidance will change and what is the impact of this. But red is what we could see coming in, given that these two are big clients for the company.
Okay, all right. So we're going to watch for Dream folks for sure. Thank you for that, Vinny. Let's quickly recap our list of stocks to look at today. The ones that have positive news flow around them are Hero Moto, Hyundai Motor, Lloyds Metals, Moil and JSW Energy. Stocks with negative news flow would be Maruti, Asian Paints, V-Mart Retail, NMDC and Dream folks. All right. With that, let's take stock of what's happening in the commodity markets as well. We have Manisha Gupta joining in as always with the latest. Manisha, good morning.
Morning, and thank you for that, Surbi. I'll start with the crude oil prices, which are holding their gains ahead of the OPEC Plus meeting, which is on 6th of July, with an expectation that this would be a fifth straight month for the month of August that we will see increase in production from OPEC by 411,000 barrels per day. Well, the geopolitical tensions have eased as Iran-Israel holds ceasefire, but there is still a lot of uncertainty over the July 9 deadline for tariffs, and that continues to keep the markets choppy. Having said that, we also have seen not just the gains in energy space, but the precious metals overnight also have gained. So you have gold and silver both gaining by more than a percentage point. The US dollar trading at around 4-year lows clearly has been supportive for this one. In the metal space, it is copper which continues to outperform, while we have seen zinc, aluminum, copper, all of these metals gain for the month of June. July as well has started on a positive note, especially for copper, which is trading at a 3-month high. Well, here as well, the weak US dollar, tight supplies, inventories declining, and expectation of a China stimulus measures are some of the supporting factors.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot, Manisha, for joining in and filling us in with all of those cues. For the time being, we slip into a short break. On the other side, the management of MapMy India Maples will be joining in to talk about the recent order win. We'll also get some fundamental stock talk with Deven Choksi or DR Choksi Finserv. Stay with us.